How to polish your new Kona. Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Sylvie.
And this is DIY Detail. Today we're going to go into the polishing of this new Kona. It only has 400 kilometers on it, so not a lot. And if you'd like to see how we prepped it, got it to this stage, there's a video in the description below.
We polish with the dual action or?
No, we'll be doing this with the Rotary. There's not a lot of wash marring on it. As I said, it only has 400 kilometers. The dealer left a few things, but we'll take care of that.
So let's go. One spray.
One spray, we have the gold standard on our pads, off we go.
How many passes you can do or?
I did 3. That's what we're basing it off of. We'll take a look, see what it looks like. If it's good, we'll continue on. The owner of this car couldn't see the swirls that we could see. Didn't care. To him, the car was already perfect. So it's a new car. Of course it's perfect. Well, for a detailer, no. For a consumer, yes. So Sylvia's going to take a rinseless dampened towel. We'll give it a check, see what it looks like. If we're happy with it, we'll move on. We know the customer is already happy, but we're detailers. We always do a little more.
What the benefit to use the rinseless wash to remove the compound or the polish?
The benefit is that it makes it much easier to remove and provides lubrication. And as we can see, looking much better.
Oh, yes. I see you now.
Yep. So we have gloss, we have elimination of all those little pesky swirls that the customer didn't even see, but as detailers we saw. So we know 3 passes, red rotary jeweling pad, we're good to go. We can continue on. We'll wipe it off when we're done. There's no need to wipe it off beforehand. But if you want to, you can.
I want to see my side. If I do something good or not good. Yeah, it's easy with the rinseless. Need to put more here. I don't to polish too much. I don't. Yeah, a little bit more, yeah.
You'll notice when I move the mirror, I got a few drips. It's much better to have the drips when you're polishing than when you're coating. So be sure to move the mirrors around, make sure you got all that off. Normally the vibration of polishing gets that off, but since we're not creating any vibration with the Rotary, it's a lot smoother than with the DA, we're not getting the water coming out of the crack. So by moving the mirror around, we'll get that, and it's not a problem when you're polishing. And Sylvie decided to redo the hood because in her detailer's eye, it wasn't good enough for her. But the hood is the part that we see the most. The sides had basically nothing on them, so we're just cleaning them up.
Yep.
You'll notice I did the whole door before doing the bottom. The reason I leave the bottom till last is very simple. If for some reason we missed just a little bit of something as we were cleaning or when we drove it in, if something got put up onto there, it's right before I go to my pad washer that I'm going to do that section. So if I pick something up, it's not going to cause a problem higher up.
I have a bird itching.
Yes. Unfortunately, there's a bird etching right here. Right there. You can see the bird.
Yes.
You can see the bird etching. The red pad is not enough to get that out unless you want to spend a half hour or so on that bird etching. So we're going to use the 25mm stroke DA just to spot treat that area.
With which pad?
The wool pad.
Okay.
Let's take a look, see what we did. No more bird etching to be found.
It's perfect. Perfect.
So you can spot treat an area and you don't have to compound the whole vehicle just because you have one little bird etching. One of the tools I always carry with me is a ratchet strap. Now, what does a ratchet strap have to do with detailing? Very easy. Put it in there, and you can adjust it by doing this. Now, my hatchback lid is comfortable at a right height to work, and it allowed me to see something. There's some really deep scratches here. Again, very new vehicle, but the owner of this vehicle works in a quarry, a limestone quarry, and the vehicle gets covered in dust. So we are going to teach him how to wash it safely after he has a coating on it. But one thing, his work clothes, the hard hat, things like that, he keeps in the back of the vehicle here. So every time he opens and closes the hatch, he's scratching it. And there's some scratches that are actually quite deep. So we'll need to attack this a little more with a wool pad just to get the surface scratches off. That way we'll have a nice finish when he comes to pick it up. And we'll also explain to him how to prevent this in the future. And one way that a lot of people don't realize is the handle here. Use this handle instead of your hand here to close your trunk lid. But let's go polish it.
Did you use the 555 method, Ivan, for that?
On this one we won't use the 555 method, just because we have a larger surface and we'd be working with the edge of the pad. So not the best use for the 555 method.
Perfect.
In the light, we can see these deeper scratches. And as we move that light across, we see all these deep scratches in here. So we'll be using the wool pad to eliminate them. One thing you'll notice, I'm not putting any pressure on the trunk lid. If I were to put just a bit of pressure, it goes down. I'm just using the weight of the machine, gliding across. If I put pressure, that's what happens. Give it a finishing pass with the rotary, see what we end up with.
You can polish the letters with the red pad.
Yes, with the red pad, very easy to polish. Over the letters, the emblem gets in there nice and deep. Now, if you have thicker letters like this that are very close together, that's a little more difficult, but these, they're very flush, easy to work with. Now, the appearance of those scratches is gone. We've rounded over everything. It's nice, shiny, and glossy.
Wow. It's perfect for my eyes.
Yep. Continue on. Lower parts of the sides, the back, the front are done. Now to do the roof and the windows. So with the red pad, we can get into all these angles and curves without having to move the machine or manipulate the machine around.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You'll notice I have a platform for polishing the roof. I'm tall enough, I can reach it without a problem. But can I see it properly? No, I can't. So this allows me to do that. And when we're going to be coating, it's just safer to have a platform we're able to reach without leaning up against the vehicle. So get one of these. They're worth it. One of the things that climbing up here on the stool allowed me to do is I can actually see something that we didn't see before from the ground, and that's adhesive residue on the little shark fin here. So put a bit of DIY tree sap remover on there, let it dwell for a moment, and take a towel that you don't necessarily want to use again. It's not going to wipe it off the first time. So it's actually quite thick. There's a reason they left it there. Spray it on. Then before it dries, get it off the surface of the paint where it doesn't need to be. There we go. The shark fin is ready to swim. While polishing back here, there's one other thing that I noticed. Look at the wiper arm, where it is. That's not a good thing. As a detailer, as a home hobbyist, this is something you can resolve quite easily. On the back here, you just pry up on this little plastic piece and it flips up. From there, take a wrench or ratchet, your choice, loosen off the nut, and you don't have to remove the nut all the way. You can leave it on just a little bit. Put this up, lift it, now you can rotate it, and it's on splines. Then, once you've got the angle that you want, tighten it back up. Now, this wiper will not be scratching the paint anymore. Sylvie's not a fan of heights, so I'll do the windshield on this side, go do the roof on the other side while she's wiping off the polish residue. Found another little bit of tree sap here. So tree sap remover, put it on it, let it sit for a few seconds. Thankfully, wipes right away. These spots of tree sap we didn't see when we were down on the floor. So having a little stool like this makes life easier. You can see what you're doing. We had someone asking, I'm in my early 60s, can I detail? Well, here's your answer. Yes, you can. Age is not that much of a consideration. Take your time, work smarter, not harder, and you'll be able to follow the young kids as well. Don't worry. Last few steps before the paint prep. Sylvia is going around doing door jambs, the underside of the hood, just to make sure there's no dust that flies out of there as we're doing the app. And I'm going around doing the wheels. Now the wheels we will not be doing with app, but we will be doing them with panel prep, but we're getting them cleaned up. What you see here is just a bit of overspray from the pad washer because I missed a spot. But we'll get that off quite easily with a rinseless dampen rag. As mentioned before, the windshield is going to get C6 Hydro glass. Just the windshield. The side windows, the C6 Hydro light is fine. But in order to prep it, we didn't use the app. For this, we are using panel prep. And we're not going to spray it on the window. We're going to take 2 different colored towels. And that way we have a record of what we've been doing. Spray the panel prep on one. Then apply to the glass. Then take another towel and wipe off. Now at this point, your window will be extremely grabby. And that's exactly what we want. And if you find an area that's not grabby, like in the corner here, there we go. That means I missed a little spot. And that's going to allow the hydro glass to bond beautifully. If you've done this right, it's probably one of the hardest wipe-offs you'll ever do. Before we apply the coating, I'm actually going to apply the C6 Hydro Glass. C6 Hydro Glass has to sit for at least 15 minutes, but ideally, you can leave it longer if you want to. So that's what we're going to do. Shake the bottle a little bit, and you don't need a lot. One of these bottles will do a good number of windshields. So I just put a bit of Hydro Glass on one half of the pad. I'm going to apply it in a circular motion. And it will eventually dry to a nice white haze. That white haze will be very easy to wipe off. Just want to make sure you're getting it everywhere. You don't need to work it over 4 or 5 times. Once is enough. Now I had a little too much in this bottom corner where I started. So let me mop that up. And move on to the other side. I'm just going to add 1 drop to my applicator because there's more than enough on there. And again, circular motions. Making sure to get the corners and applying it to the window. No pressure on the applicator, just gliding it across the glass. C6 Hydro Glass, like I said, at least 15 minutes. Let it sit. If it sits longer, not a problem. We'll have time to coat the car, come back, and that'll be our last part that we wipe off.
It's easy to remove.
Very easy to remove. It's been on here for 45 minutes. One little pass with a leveling towel, and it comes right off. Want to make sure to get under the wiper blade. I like to use 2 towels, just as an insurance. So low nap towel first, get the bulk of the residue off, and then come back with a nice fluffy towel to finish off the work.
How long it lasts?
So with any glass coating, it's very difficult to say how long it lasts. Some people can drive a year without using their wipers. It's going to last a very, very long time. Other people are in rainy climates. that it rains quite often and they need to use their wipers more often. But for the longevity of your coating, a few things you can do. First, when it starts to rain, turn on your windshield wipers, but with the windshield washer fluid. That will take all the surface oils off of the windshield, so the road film or traffic film off the windshield, exposing the coating. That way you won't need to use your wipers as much. And this coating starts to have the water beads go off, depending on the angle of your windshield, somewhere between 20 and 30 miles an hour. So even in city driving, you don't need your wipers. There we have it. We have washed, decontaminated, polished. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. But in the meantime, you might want to watch this one right here.